Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to CHOW Time Sports. I mean, we're glad to be here. First episode of the season. Football season's right around the corner. I'm Chow.
I'm
my
Pete.
Co-host, Pete. And let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Honestly, I mean.
So Thursday night.
Cut the bullshit, eh?
Thursday night. Tomorrow night. The season kicks off. We have the Detroit Lions heading into Arrowhead Stadium to face off the Super Bowl defending Chiefs.
No Travis Kelce.
No
It's
Travis confirmed?
He hyperextended his knee yesterday. Today is currently Wednesday. He hyperextended his knee yesterday, Tuesday. So there's no way he's healthy for a Thursday night game. 2 days, like, not a chance.
It's still 92% of the public is on Chiefs outright, and 63% is still favoring the Chiefs by a touchdown or more. 6.5 points.
It's hard to go against Patty Mahomes, honestly, so I'm still giving them the edge, but I think it's going to be a much closer game. The line on that is, all right, the spread, 6.5, right?
Yep.
Honestly, I like Chicago, or I like Detroit.
He likes Chicago.
I like Detroit plus 6.5 over Kansas City. I like that line.
I think
they
the
have a
game
much better
comes.
chance.
I think it's a lot closer than the spread. I think the Lions definitely can pull it out, but I have to go with the Chiefs week 1. I think the Lions do cover, though. I think the Lions do cover.
But I also would agree. I think the Chiefs still get the W, even if Travis Kelce is not playing.
I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think they're going to have a strong running game. 2 very high-powered offenses, 2 not-so-great defenses. I like the over, too. I like it's hovering around 53 right now.
53? I could see it being a shootout.
I could see easily both teams scoring 30-plus points here.
I saw a stat line earlier today that Chiefs had the highest percentage of scoring on drives at, like, it was about almost 50. Lions were right behind them in third place for, like, highest percentage of scoring every drive. So we got 2 high-powered offenses. Lions just got Jahmyr Gibbs. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's going to tear it up. That O-line is incredible. Jared Goff just has to stay poised in the pocket, deliver some nice passes, and I think they got themselves a game here, honestly.
I think the game's going to be much better than the spread says. I think we're in for a great game Thursday night.
Absolutely.
Moving on. 1 o'clock. The slate begins. 7 hours of commercial-free football. I can't wait to see Scott Hansen's face back on my television.
Absolutely.
The Atlanta Falcons are hosting the Carolina Panthers. The spread on that one, it's back down to 2.5 for Atlanta, favored by 2.5.
Atlanta by
60% of the public is taking Atlanta by 2.5, but 53% have them outright. That math just isn't mathing to me, but I like Atlanta. I think people say that Bryce Young might be a little bit better than Desmond Ridder, but I think the weapons that are surrounding Desmond Ridder, within Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, I think the Falcons are able to pull out a big win here. I like the defensive weapons they have too, especially in A.J. Terrell. I think their defenses are kind of similar to each other. I like J.C. Horn on Carolina. I like Brian Burns.
Dog.
But I think Atlanta might be able to get it done and kind of put them away soundly. I like the Falcons by a lot more than a field goal, honestly.
I'd have to agree with you on that, honestly. Both rookie quarterbacks, so you're not expecting too much. However, Atlanta's O-line is one of the best units in the league. They're easily a top 10 league, or a top 10 O-line in the league. And they got Bijan now in the backfield, who's gonna be a workhorse for them. Give me Atlanta. I think they easily cover. What was it, -2.5?
Yeah.
I think they easily cover that. Easily.
So in the next game in the slate, we have the Cincinnati Bengals heading into Cleveland. A lot of the public is taking Cincinnati here. 87% is riding on the Bengals, and then a little bit less, but 75% of the public has the Bengals to cover by at least a field goal.
Cleveland always gives them a good fight. Cleveland always does. For whatever reason, they hang in the game. It doesn't matter who's there. I mean, Jacoby Brissett was doing it last year. He kept them in the game last year for both of them. I don't think they were very high scoring or they weren't blowouts at all. That being said, they did get an upgraded quarterback, Deshaun Watson. However, he's been away from football for a bit. I don't know. I don't think Deshaun has what it takes week 1 to take down the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. I think they're going to get the job done, even with a little bit of a lackluster O-line. It's hard to bet against Joe Burrow.
I think that this game is a lot closer than a 3-point spread. I think this game could literally be a 27-28 game that comes down to a Browns missed field goal. I like Cincinnati, but I don't think I can take them by 3. I think this game is a lot closer than it is. I like Joe Mixon. I like the receiving core in the Bengals. The Browns have a good receiving core. It's not as deep. I like their tight end, though. I like David Njoku. I think Deshaun Watson could come out and throw for 350-plus yards, but I think Joe Burrow could very well do the same, and Mixon have a good day on the ground. But
Absolutely.
I think I have to go Cincinnati, but I like Cleveland plus 2.5.
I think Cincinnati minus 2.5 is what I'd go at there. But I don't hate it. Not a bit. Not one bit.
So moving on, my fellas, the boys in blue, Indianapolis is hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are going into Lucas Oil Stadium as 4.5-point favorites. A lot of money and a lot of people are riding on the Jaguars. The line hasn't moved. This has trap game written all over it. I think it's very hard to game plan against a rookie quarterback. Anthony Richardson didn't have too much of a strong preseason, but I think the Colts are just going to go out there and throw everything that they can at him, and the Jacksonville Jaguars may not have an answer to it. The Colts really don't have much to prove besides showing that Anthony Richardson might be their guy. I'm on the Colts here. I like the Colts to win outright. I like the Colts to cover 4.5. I think that this game, but if anything, I think the Colts might lose because they try to go for a 2-point conversion within the last couple minutes to try and put the game away to give them a late lead. I think that's what it comes down to. If the Colts lose, it's going to be single-digit numbers. It's going to be close.
Respectfully disagree. I mean, look at the Jags, Pete. Come on, Calvin Ridley's back. You've seen all the clips of him in training camp. Calvin Ridley's gonna get back to his form like he was in Atlanta, with T-Law throwing him the ball. Like, I wasn't high on T-Law coming out of college, but he's proven me wrong, and he's gonna take the next step, especially in that weak ass division. That division is some garbage, and I think they're gonna steal the first game of the season, and I think they do it. I love minus 4.5. I think they win by at least a touchdown. I think they absolutely smashed that line.
I might be biased, but I don't know. We'll have to find out Sunday. I really like Indianapolis. I like that they're giving them 4.5 points here. I think it could be a lot closer, and I think the Colts might even be able to pull it away. Just because of the rookie quarterback factor, and you don't really know how to game plan against a rookie quarterback when you don't have the film.
I guess, but come on. The Jags, they ended the year like 7-2. They were getting hot towards the end of the year. They returned 20 of their 22 starters on the team, and now they're adding Calvin Ridley to the mix. Travis Etienne's just going to grow. Trevor Lawrence is just going to grow. I think they have a great season this year, and I think they definitely take the win in the first week.
Okay. You can believe that.
I will believe it because that's
We'll see it on Sunday.
That's what's going to happen.
Next up, the Bradyless Buccaneers are going into Minnesota. Minnesota Vikings are favored by 6.5, and a vast majority of the public is riding on Minnesota here. I think I'm going to have to go with the public here. I don't think Baker Mayfield has what it takes to go up against this Vikings team. I feel like they're two pretty porous defenses, and I think that Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are going to be able to expose that. Baker Mayfield and his offense may be able to show up and put up 24, 27 points, but it's not going to be enough. I think the Vikings could potentially put up 35-plus in this game, and I think they'll easily cover.
I'd have to agree. Kirko chains, baby. Whip out the chains, because this is gonna be bad. Buccaneers defense, It's all right. It's gotten a little worse. Their O-line got worse. Ryan Jensen, they don't know if he's coming back. They don't know if he'll ever play another snap of football again. Baker Mayfield, we've all seen what he's done throughout the years. Baker Mayfield is not going to magically turn into prime Tom Brady. And you got the best receiver in football on the other team. And who's going to guard him? Who's going to cover him? Carlton Davis, pretty good corner, but he's not stopping Jay Jettis. Give me a break. That's not happening.
I mean, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Baker Mayfield comes out and shocks us here, but I got a lot of confidence in this Minnesota team. I personally think that they can go out and win the division. First team to win the division twice in a row in the past 20 years. No one in that division has consecutively held the division in the past 20-something years. I think that the Vikings could very well do it again, starting off week 1 strong.
I agree. I don't hate the take.
Moving on, we have the New Orleans Saints hosting the Tennessee Titans as 3.5-point favorites. This game is a pretty 50-50 split. Outright, the Saints are favored by about 60% to 40, and it's pretty much a 50-50 split on the spread. As much as I hate other AFC South teams, I really think that the Titans have what it takes to show up here and get it done. I think Derrick Henry would be able to go for maybe 150 yards on 20 carries, maybe 25 carries. I feel like the Titans are just going to run the ball. This game could very well end 17-10, but
I think I would disagree. And Saints are taking this home. They got an upgraded quarterback, Derek motherfucking Carr. He's there. He's here. You see those photos of him? He got big in the offseason.
He does look great.
He looks good. Michael Thomas is healthy. Probably be only healthy for like the first 3 games of the season.
But
he's going to be healthy in this game. Chris Olave, I think the offense is going to look very good, and the defense on the defense side of the ball. I mean, they still got Cam Jordan. They still got Demario Davis. They still got Marshawn Lattimore. They're key defensive players. They're the guys that are game changers. And I don't see the Titans being able to keep up with the offense, honestly. I think the Saints defense does a good enough job to take care of Derrick Henry. Not saying they're going to. I'm saying I think they do a good enough job. However, I don't think the Titans are going to be able to keep up with the offense. I think the offense looks much better this year for New Orleans. And obviously I know Kamara's not playing, but when he comes back, I think that's going to be a great
addition to the team.
Yeah, great addition. He'll be back and hopefully be better than ever. But I like Saints minus 3.5. I think they definitely cover that.
All right, I do like the Titans plus 3.5. I'm pretty sure they have been a pretty strong opening team because you have a guy who can just run the ball, and it's a big man. He's hard to take down. I think the Titans have what it takes. It just matters if they want to leave it all out on the field or not. Next up in the lineup, we have the San Francisco 49ers, probably one of my favorite teams in the NFL, especially after last year, heading into Pittsburgh, as only the line has shifted. Just yesterday it was 2.5, now it's 3.5 for the Niners.
If you got the odds on 2.5, good on you.
I love the Niners at 2.5. I still love them at 3.5. I think the Niners could easily blow the Steelers out here. The Steelers have to rely on their defense to allow maybe less than 20 points, but I think the 49ers offense is more than capable of putting up 28 plus in this game. I like Brock Purdy starting.
Yeah.
The man. He was doing good. George Kittle ended off the season catching 7 touchdowns in his last 4 games. I think he picks up right where he left off against this Pittsburgh defense. Don't get me wrong, it's one of the best in the league, but so are the Niners. I just don't think Kenny Pickett's going to be ready to make a statement to Steelers fans and show them that he's the one against this team.
I know all the rave about Kenny Pickett in preseason. He played very well. However, I don't think the offense has what it takes, once again, to get past this San Fran defense. I mean, this defense is insane. It makes you want to watch the defense side of the ball. It's so fun to watch. Fred Warner flying around. Like you got Nick Bosa coming off the edge doing his thing, and then in the back you got you got guys popping up. Tunga Haloa, however you say his name, the safety, he's a dog, and he's coming out of nowhere. And then you go to the offensive side of the ball. T.J. Watt, incredible. However, there is a man named Trent Williams. There is a very bad man named Trent Williams. And if T.J. Watt's lined up against him, I don't see him getting very much production. Trent Williams is the best tackle in football, hands down. You can argue me on that, but he is easily the best tackle in football, and I don't think anyone will argue me on that. And then Brock Purdy, I mean, he's just got to stand in the pocket, go through his progressions, find CMC in the flat, for an easy CMC. You just get him the ball, he's gonna do something.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
Once he gets the ball, he's able to do some magic.
You start throwing a little play action, sprinkle that in, and you get Debo over the middle, and Debo's gone for a 50, 60-yard touchdown. I love the Niners.
As strong as that Steelers defense is, I could see the Niners running it up on them.
I would agree.
Next up in the slate, the Washington Commanders, with a rookie quarterback in Sam Howell, are hosting the Arizona Cardinals. Just yesterday, they were favored by a whole touchdown, 7 points. Now the line has shifted by a whole 1.5. It's 5.5 now. I still like the Commanders. I think they have a tough defense. When you look at difference makers, I feel like that James Conner is the only guy that the Cardinals have.
Marquise Brown, but he's got who throwing him the ball?
It's Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs is QB1 in Arizona right now, and I don't think that's enough to win a football game.
No, I would agree. I would definitely.
I like
agree.
Washington by 5.5, and I think. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that this game could very well end 17-10, maybe 20-13, but
definitely.
I think very well may even end 10-3. But I think the Commanders are going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think the Commanders are going to get it done. Rookie Sam Howell, he's going to play all right. He's not going to be incredible, but he's not going to do anything too bad. I mean, I think the running backs in Washington, Brian Robinson is going to lead the way with Antonio Gibson with that 1-2 punch. Scary Terry, I believe he's still questionable currently. If he's there, I think that's the icing on the cake. Scary Terry is debatably a top 10 receiver, definitely top 15 in the NFL. So that always helps to have a guy like him. So I don't disagree. I think the Commanders they cover the spread.
Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Houston Texans, favored by 9.5 points. This is my lock of the week. I think that the Ravens could easily win this game by 20-plus points. Lamar Jackson, he needs to come out and make a statement. He just got paid. He needs to show Baltimore and he needs to show the world why he deserves to be paid. I think that Mark Andrews gets a touchdown, J.K. Dobbins gets a touchdown, Lamar gets one for himself. Zay Flowers could have a strong game. I like Baltimore all the way. Houston, C.J. Stroud, it's going to be a little bit tough for him to go up against that Baltimore defense. I don't really like Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I mean, I do like
Dalton Schultz.
They did just get Dalton Schultz. Yeah,
Yep.
I do like Dalton Schultz. I think Dalton Schultz could very well get 10 targets, maybe 8 receptions. I think he could very well have a good game from a fantasy perspective, but I think that Baltimore is able to do what they're supposed to do at home.
Yeah, they're winning by 10 or more. I mean, flat out. Texans defense, I mean, there's really no difference makers on that defense. Derek Stingley, I mean, he was all right last year. And to go up against Baltimore, where you got Lamar, who's the third best rushing quarterback in the NFL. obviously behind. I'll give Justin Fields the crown, then my guy Josh, and then Lamid Jackson. Way overpaid, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I still think they get it done, though. Zay Flowers, OBJ, new addition. See how he's doing. He might be healthy. We'll see. We'll see how he plays. And then the defense. Defense is always decent, except they're lacking corners. They are lacking corners. But good thing, the Texans have Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Dalton Schultz. I mean, not the ideal receiving threats for the Texans.
Yeah, I really have to give this one to Baltimore. It's my favorite matchup this week. Next up, moving on to the 4 o'clock slate. The Chicago Bears are hosting the Green Bay Packers. What do you think about this one? The Packers are favored, not the Packers. The Packers are 1.5-point dogs going into this matchup.
Give me the Chicago Bears. They are going to cover 1.5. I don't think it's like that close of a game, honestly. I really don't. I think DJ Moore is a difference maker, even though they've got Jair Alexander coming up against them. I think DJ Moore is a difference maker. I think if Justin Fields can improve and hang in the pocket a little longer and keep going, go through his reads, and then if that doesn't happen, like there's no one available, then he takes off. So be it. But I think Chicago Bears absolutely cover that. I think they're a young, promising squad. They just signed my guy Tremaine because we couldn't pay him. R.I.P. But it had to happen. The defense, they signed Tremaine, they signed T.J. Edwards, and they have another linebacker. Like, they got an insane linebacker room over there. Give me the Bears, honestly. Khalil Herbert in the backfield, young, promising guy. I just don't see Green Bay going through with this. I mean, they have Christian Watson on offense as Jordan Love's number one target.
And that was a big thing with me. Jordan Love is starting quarterback. Aaron Rodgers did own the Chicago Bears, but now that he's gone, I think Chicago could very well make a statement in that division. They could give the Vikings a run for their money up there, but I like Chicago in this matchup.
I agree.
Next up in the 4 o'clock slate, I don't really have much to say about this matchup. The Broncos hosting the Raiders. I don't really like either team, honestly. This is just a football game to me. The Broncos defense, it's a pretty tough defense.
Pat Surtain, baby.
Russell Wilson, is he going to cook? I don't think so. I like Jimmy G. He's a system quarterback. His weapons are good. Devontae Adams, one of the best receivers in the league. Josh Jacobs had a really good-looking season last year. I think that the Raiders just simply have more offensive weapons, and they'll be able to move the ball down the field better than the Broncos and put up more points.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't really care too much about this game. I don't know. I think I'd agree with what you're saying, and especially if Jerry Jeudy's injured. I mean, that doesn't help Russ. It doesn't help him cooking. He might be burning the shit in the kitchen. So, you know what? Give me the Raiders. I think it was plus 3.5.
Plus 3.5.
Give me the Raiders plus 3.5.
Yeah.
I think that's a good call there.
This is one of my favorite matchups of the week. The Eagles going into Gillette as 4.5-point favorites. The Eagles I believe they're going to go on a mission this year. They lost some key defensive pieces, but I like Philly. I like Jalen Hurts. I like their receiving core. They did just lose Miles Sanders, but they did get someone who I believe is maybe almost as good in DeAndre Swift, but I personally like the Eagles. I think that the line should be the Eagles by a touchdown or more. I like the Eagles. I know Bill Belichick's a winning coach. He runs a very tight ship. This game could be a lot closer than I think it will be, but I think the Eagles are going to be able to run away with it.
Yeah, not this year, Bill. Not this year. They're going to end up worse in the division. I mean, that's just going to happen. That's just how it is, and it's going to start with a loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. That line, minus 4.5, that is absolutely ridiculous to me. I think that, like you said, I think it's easily a touchdown. I mean, Jalen Hurts, even if he plays remotely how he did last year, they're gonna put up 30 plus points on that defense. I know I know you said like the Bill runs a tight ship over there, but like that offense is inevitable with skinny Batman and Devontae Smith and regular Batman and AJ Brown. You can't beat that 1-2 punch. It's not gonna happen. So yeah, give me Philly.
Next up, I think this is going to be a great game. The Dolphins heading into Los Angeles to face the Chargers. Two great teams, two very high-powered offenses, two, I'd say, middle-of-the-road defenses. This game has amazing potential to be an absolute shootout, but I'm actually making the decision in my mind right now. I think I'm going to have to go with Justin Herbert and the Chargers here. I like Quentin Johnston. I think Keenan Allen's healthy. Mike Williams is healthy. When that team started out last year with everyone healthy, they started out hot. I think week 1 they're able to get the job done. Austin Eckler, he's just a machine. You give him the ball, he works wonders with it. I think the Chargers are going to really be able to give it to him week 1, and this game is definitely going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. However, I would say Dolphins' defense is looking pretty scary with Jalen Ramsey. However, I know he's injured for I don't even know how many weeks, but it looks pretty scary with him there. I mean, but on the flip side, give me Justin Herbert and the boys to take him. I mean, like, I think that offense, like Pete said, I mean, Keenan Allen's healthy. Mike Williams healthy for the first 5 games this season. But I think their offense is just too much for him. On the flip side, Miami's they didn't help their O-line one bit. I think Joey Bosa can just resemble anything for how he's been in the past couple of years, return to peak form. Not even peak form. If he can just get a little bit of production going, I think he's gonna do wonders for them up front in the trenches. So yeah, give me the Chargers. The line was -1.5.
Yep.
I say they absolutely cover that.
I believe so too. Even if it was a field goal, I think I'd take the Chargers there. Next up, the last of the 4 o'clock slate, we have the Seattle Seahawks as 5-point favorites opening up at home against the Los Angeles Rams, who just 2 years ago hoisted the Lombardi Trophy.
True statement.
I think if Cooper Kupp plays, this game has a completely different outcome than what's predicted. But without Cooper Kupp, without that difference maker, I have to go Seattle. I like Geno Smith. I like the receiving core in Seattle. I think Kenneth Walker is a great running back. He's got very high potential. And even with that 1-2 punch in Zach Charbonnet, I think that the Seahawks are able to get it done, at least by putting up more points than the Rams. I think if Cooper Kupp plays, however, it's a completely different outcome.
Definitely. Cooper Kupp, you better play. I've got you in fantasy, so you better play. Yeah, that's my formal message to Cooper Kupp. I know you're never going to see this. However, if you see this, I need you to play week 1. Big week 1. Got to start off fantasy with a W week 1.
On the topic of that, Jim Irsay, if you ever happen to see this, please pay him. We need him really badly.
Also true.
Anthony Richardson does need him.
I do have him in
We
fantasy
need
too.
him.
I took a risk in fantasy this year, and I drafted him as well. In a different league though. But yeah, pay the man. Cooper Kupp, play. As regards to the game, without Cooper Kupp, I think Seattle takes this. Is it in Seattle?
It's in Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle's taking it. Geno Smith, hell of a performance last year. I think he continues his dominance, honestly, because he played very well last year. Very accurate, threw for about 30 touchdowns, I want to say. And he's still got DK. He's got Tyler Lockett eventually. JSN's coming back. Yeah, on the defensive side of the ball, Tariq Woolen, dog. I mean, there's not much more to say. And if I'm not mistaken, Blitz Boy is coming back, I believe. So look out for him. Jamal Adams.
All right, we are down to the last few. Primetime Sunday night, Dallas Cowboys heading into MetLife to face off against the G-Men. The Cowboys are favored by a field goal. and I like it. I like the Cowboys. I think that they have a lot to prove this year. They played great in the regular season last year. The playoffs they kind of fell apart, but I really think Dak and crew have what it takes. I think Tony Pollard is going to be better than Zeke ever was. The receiving core is phenomenal, and I think that the Giants are just not going to be able to keep up, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. Also, real quick, going back, Jamal Adams was ruled out for the Seahawks. I misspoke. But yeah, give me the Cowboys. Offense looking good with CD. With CD's nuts. Defense, I mean, Micah Parsons, absolute monster. Trayvon Diggs, I mean, he's a takeaway machine. Yeah, I just don't see Danny Dimes getting it done.
I think the Cowboys just have the positional advantage on both sides of the ball in just about every area. I have to go with Dallas here. And now, the long-awaited Monday night, 9/11, the New York Jets with the new man holding the reins, Aaron Rodgers, hosting the Buffalo Bills.
This is my game of the week right here. First off, I'm just going to put it out there. I think the line's 2.5 that the Bills are favorited. Hammer.
1.5 now.
1.5.
Shifted.
Oh, even better. Hammer. Bills are taking this one. All right. Everyone's hyping up the Jets. Come on now. It's Aaron Rodgers. This isn't. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. He did not play well last year. Don't even give me any excuse. He's getting old. He's not going to be the same person he was. You could say Garrett Wilson is going to be incredible. I don't disagree. I think Garrett Wilson's a great wide receiver. However, the Bills' defense, I know we lost Tremaine Edmonds, a couple pieces. However, we have young guys stepping up to the plate. Christian Benford, Kyer Elam. We got freaking DeMar Hamlin back. DeMar's back. This is for DeMar. 3's up for DeMar. Hopefully, or actually, Micah Hyde, Jay Poe, Jordan Poyer, best safety tandem in the league. It's going to be out there. They're going to be roaming around. Yeah, I don't see the Jets getting it done. Breece Hall, he is still questionable. Even without him, they're going to have Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook he's not going to cook, all right? He's not cooking this time. The Bills made some upgrades to the O-line. We got James Cook, who's going to explode this year. Dalton Kincaid, dog, going to explode this year. I just see. I think it could be a very high-scoring game. I see both defenses maybe not being able to keep up with the offenses. However, it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen is a miracle worker, and I think he's gonna be the difference maker week 1. I mean, look what happened last year. Week 1 against the Rams, the defending Super Bowl champions. Blew them straight out of the water. Give me the Bills -1.5. Lock.
I'm not gonna lie. For a lot of the boys back home, I think I have to fade you here. I think I have to take the good old Jets, Jets. I like Aaron Rodgers. I like Garrett Wilson. I like Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. I think the Jets defense is a force. Sauce Gardner is going to be able to put the clamps on Stephon Diggs, I think. I mean, he only did it twice last year because that's all the time that they had to do it. But I think he picked off Josh Allen once last year. I really think that the Jets have what it takes talent-wise to win this game. I feel like it's a matter of coaching and play calling that's going to determine this game.
And I think Sean McDermott outcoaches Robert Saleh in this matchup. I like the Bills. Give me the Bills.
You know,
all the way.
I guess we won't know till Monday night. But until then, thanks for riding with us, and we will see you all next week.
Yep, next week.
This has been Chow Time.
Chow Time Sports with Chow.
And Pete.
Have a good one, guys.
Catch you next time.